Welcome, my friends, to Dungeon Master. You always laugh when I say that if you're out of your minds and you don't know what's going on. Yes, you heard it from me. My first insult to the audience that they know is an ironic gesture. Because how do I know anyone sees this? I see my own cursor and we see all the licenses and registrations. Oh, this one, alright. There's only so far you can go in these dungeons, and this is, the Sacred Stones. Of course, we've seen this dungeon somewhere. Maybe we haven't. I wonder if we should have, we're gonna have to have Josephine play the Enchantress for now, and she'll go back into her court immediately because there's only a new danger, which is reared its ugly head, and Miriam has vanished. I am Hiriku, a friend. I have information about the girl's disappearance. This is getting interesting. Her captors will release her after you deliver the 3 Sacred Stones of Power. Interesting. So, we must go get the Sacred Stones of Power. This is the map of the world. Let's deal with it. I think we're going in this direction. Okay, this is just weird. I hear a little sound. I'm not really sure what. If it's Mozart. Can we license Mozart? Did we already? What's going on down there? Are we getting this past? Why is he stuck in time? Why not hit the button? We're stuck to see that person die. But oh, look at him go. Hello everyone, this is the cleric, and I'm going to read you the Dungeon Master surmise of what we're looking at. So now that he's kicking the crap out of everyone, and we've all forgotten, Contra was the game that we were looking for earlier, but might have only lasted as long. If we could get that in the same movie, I thought, well, we do need more movies, don't we? That was always a lacking that we had at the last minute, but instead, I'm going to show you what it's like to be a Double Dragon Part 3. Because I just felt that it was so necessary to the world to understand where we are and what we want to be and where we will be and what we once were. And everything in between that it goes on from. This mission is a little more violent than the other ones, I would expect to say. The violence comes out in the street brutality of this man who has to fight his way through everything because everyone's trying to fight him. And notice it's him versus everyone. So he's gonna win because when you're on the right side of a cause, you always win. And we know that everybody else is wrong except him because he's us right now. We're Dungeon Master. This is where we're going. Yeah. Let's kick some ass. Let's kick some ass. Alright, don't give me none of your sassafras. Got out of the elevator. Alright, we're gonna kick that dude's head. Yeah, wow. All you can really do is stand by and cheer. And it's always fair weather when you can beat the crap out of these dudes and get away with it. No, they're just all in my face trying to fight me. I mean, does that ever not happen on this? Suddenly, I am stricken with a wonderment of what is to come and what will once be. And do we have the creaky hinge to follow this through? Where were we going without gold to do so? I will beat him down to the ground. Yeah, get this out. These guys are not going to get in my path any longer, even if I have to kick the crap out of 100 dudes. They're all going down. I don't know, some of us like these kind of things where you have to beat the man up constantly and kick his ass to get him out of your way, and they're coming after me, man, and I'm just taking them out as they come. Like this big guy, what does he think he is? Boss battle? No, that's not a boss battle. Boss battle? Perhaps, but I'll kick kick his ass anyway. I'll knock him down. I'll beat him to a pulp. I'll cash his hiney. Yes. And he will fall before the earth has performed its due upon reckon. And now he's dead. Which makes me wonder where we're going with this. Where were we going with this? Was this not some other motion that we made? And while I hear your fans and ours telling us to read the scripture of the game and how much we love it, doesn't mean we can't hit a commercial at any time. But we've got to skip this one and go on. We love commercials because we buy things from them. Shine. What are we doing over there? Mission shoot? Okay, I guess we're going there. Well, that's not where this video game was made, but okay. Perhaps something's happening over there that we need attention on. Let's demonstrate that first. It's gonna be the same old ass kicking if you ask me. No matter what country we're in, heck yeah. That you only have this on your server makes no sense. Captain Greenbeard, can you pick me up? I never play Dungeon Master unless it's for real. In Amsterdam is the code we use for that one. And sometimes you just have this encounter, this Gygax encounter where everything becomes dungeonish. When everything becomes dungeonish, that means you just kind of got to go through the flow and react positively to the dungeon within us all, and I'm going to ring one true for this. New rules. If you've seen this game and want to see it more, can you tell me what it is that draws you in about the mesmerizing ass kickings that I am giving as Dungeon Master? And I will thrive upon this hill of being the one to kick the most ass in this world, because I have double dragoned it to the third power. And you see me there, walking along ready to kick some ass, and I'm going to. When I get there, it's going to be a double team rancid race affair, because I'm going to throw them against the wall when they catch up to me. See if I don't. Well, it's a good thing that one died. And I'm going to club him in... Oh, sorry, I'm over here. Yes, you lost me in the lens for a moment, but suddenly the mirror lamp sees all that these are positions far off from the frame. I don't know if we can circle to an hour, but we try to be there for you, Dungeon Master, who will take us so far and not transfer us through the transposition of our quest, where we rise on the make of tomorrow. The old has-been, look at this if I could, and I can't look back upon how this will all be one day part of the grand dungeon, the big one that we're building of all the Dungeon Masters in a row. And it's gonna last for 3 days, or at least. And on the third day, he rises again, Dungeon Master. That's only when it's complete, though. And right now, it's like a bunch of Renaissance paintings linked together. Only it's Nintendo, so it's more artistic and more fresh. And I don't know why we're getting this bandwidth, but it seems suddenly there's a ways to go. And there's always shelter on the other side. Now that it seems so short, is slightly what's the commission in the rise, wondering if they should not skip to another chapter. Perhaps in this grain of things we could have captured all 3 of them and still had time to spare. I don't know if we can go back and do that now, but it would be quite a golden feat. Not that we're being over-ambitious or anything, but we try here to be qualified for all stages, and that would be an interesting one, though it may not work, and I've got reasons why. But I don't want to say it would be because it was an hour 10, and that's not the only bad thing about it. But this may not lift any further after 30 minutes. It may not. For the choice is yours, Dungeon Masterers. Depending on how fast you can get through these stations of being and the interceptory codes to get through to them. Now that these characters are not on AI, you don't have to rely on anything like that, coming back to Hans Schubert. That they do seem to adapt to your moves is only the way they're programmed. And you're way over here, and they're up against the fence, and you say, what are you going to do? And they say, who's going to look? And I would say, right where you deserve it. Yeah, my name's Billy, by the way. Nice to meet you all. Billy, the Dungeon Master. I'm just Billy for now because I wanted to be Billy, and that's my double dragon name. So, you can just screw off if you don't like my name and make fun of my name. I'm right here kicking ass, bro. I still kicked everybody's ass. I told you I would. I told you I would. I'm gonna kick all their asses, and I've been kicking all their asses ever since. Do you know what this means to me? That if we can even get a scene of this through, it'll be a blooming miracle. And that we haven't tampered with the bar, except when it comes to, everyone wanna buy something that waits forever. Hang on. Run. Oh, there's a Mouseketeer button. S.C. Johnson, we like that company. 3, 2, 1. I can't seem to press it. Oh, if I let that slip out of my hands, I would not be as calm as I was beforehand, before we saw the end of the battle of it. Always remember that this is run on YouTube forever. Oh my gosh, that makes me feel so much better that this is not quite a bootleg from YouTube, because they'd be like they didn't want us to record it and we didn't. But this isn't black market. This is mainstream fair way to the underground cinema that used to be known as just recording video games, now recording a game over a game and kicking ass doing it. And I thank you that Double Dragon lets us do this, for various games have let us take scenes from them for our grand production, which is going to be so fucking cool. Excuse my language. You'll have to excuse some of the language I use in the show, because it's foul and redundant and looks like a faded treetop in the distance when you swear in front of audiences of many and few and few and many, and then suddenly watch, and then you swear in front of them and they're all shutting you off until the kids go to bed. And oh my god, the kids are going to bed so they can watch this show in the background. Now, I never said that I'd be political, and I wouldn't accuse myself of that for any reason. But a few cuss words, yes, you must watch it with your kids, because then you can tell them why the cuss words are funny, and you can start saying them again as soon as you tell the kids to never say them. So, that's my piece for now on cussing and how I feel about it. Sure, the kids shouldn't hear it without a parent nearby, but the parent should have a kid nearby when cursing to relate how offensive it was and how the kid can't do it, but he heard them say it. Because, never mind, if you don't know the ultimate rules, then you're gonna get your ass kicked at Street Fighter. I mean Double Dragon, I mean Contra. Where were we? Oh yes, here was me kicking ass in the same place that I've kicked ass for 5 minutes. And it's not going anywhere recently, but he is saying things to me that I can't breathe in or switch out of mode. It'd be hard to do, but I'm just gonna knock this person over, few times, and it seems like it's a boss battle. If it's a boss battle, I can understand why it's a contender. But when I'm when I really want to turn into who I want to be, then I take no time with what I'm gonna see. Because if I'm looking up, I'm going down, and if I'm going down, I'm turning around. And that is the way we do it on this shapeshifter. Nothing can be like a doppelganger to me right now. I just want to be the guy who comes through on the other side with whatever we've got, whenever we've got it. We've got it good when we see the old shaman come to tell us what our mission entails and how it entails them. And I'm looking at the map to check it out. I don't see how we could get through another episode after this one, but we'll have to do about 30 more just because I said it. How does that sound? Just for a round of Let's Go On. Let's see what Dungeon Master can really bring us. Let's see what memories Dungeon Master brings back to all a Dungeon Masterous event. I think I've made this movie before. This simple vignette, this quadrant through time, this reality of unfolding, the world and the world unfolding before you. And we then escape into harmonious escalades of equal Viroto and equal to photo. It's never equal to moto in the moto Ioto. And that is why we give a vermin to the very thing we cross with the desire of outrage to tire above in some kind of frantic new order. Therefore we verifiably de-blank the blankers from wherever they are to whatever they once were. We give them a sweet rest, whether they have returned everything they've stolen from us and destroyed of ours back in fold. I will have to just keep beating up these dudes because no one's stopping me, man. No one's stopping me from beating these dudes down. You gotta admit. And that we're kind of in a perplexed state of being right now, as Dungeon Master would always say around minute 18 of the show. I mean, you gotta understand the delicacy of these Dungeon Master episodes. Like, it's nothing like we've ever seen, but totally like something we've all seen. Totally like something we've all seen. Well, we could have played it once. I played it a couple of times. Don't really remember it like this, but I guess that's how part 3 was. And I played it for Nintendo, man. I'm telling you, the Nintendo's really helping out Dungeon Master, man. The Nintendo came through. They're like, if you guys want to turn us into cartoon movies, we already are. Go ahead. We're like, yeah. Thanks, Nintendo. Because Nintendo is where all this originates from. All these Dungeon Masters episodes. They've been real close to the dungeons we've been looking for. And Double Dragon is the Dungeon Double. Heck yeah. You go on like this forever. Forever. Alright. Toss him over there. Green Lantern coming back. Yeah, knock him down. And you get your butt's kicked. I'm yawning. Is that not bad? I'm kicking these dudes' asses, and at the same time, I'm so tired I'm yawning. I need like some caffeine. Who wants freaking Pepsi for the day? They haven't had any Pepsi yet. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know if I can show it on camera. It's a commercial.
We'd want Pepsi to make money anyway.
Now perhaps Dungeon Master can get ready for round and act 3.
Because it was 0 to 10 and 1 and 0 to 20 and 2. And we need to skip this ad, dude. Still, we need to give money to that. Alright, we got a few characters to choose from a Dungeon Master in this final sequence that is going on forever. Because I just got to tell you, this final sequence goes, this one kind of plays through to it kind of further than final, and I think you'll see that we've got more time than you think in this whole Dungeon Master scheme of things. We'll try and figure that out as you continue to fight. It looks like we're a few minutes off. Yeah, Dungeon Master, a few minutes off. So we're just going to see how far you make it. I mean, if you make it through Double Dragon 3, you're kind of my hero, but that's just the way my heroes are, the kind that make it through Double Dragon 3. Because, what do we play this for unless to be heroes of the game? And I don't know about you, but I feel like a hero of Double Dragon right now. I do. We made it so far. Drinking Pepsi off screen. Dungeon Master likes the Pepsi too. It's quite chill. It almost makes him want to show you the can of Pepsi, but then it would be linked to these commercials, and we sell Pepsi anyway. Yes, we do. We sell Pepsi, not on the underground, but only because they let us sell it, because we're trying to get everyone to go to the store and buy Pepsi. So actually the store sells it, but we tell them to buy it, and subliminally they hear us gulp it down and want some too. And that's not the only thing I put in subliminal messages before of, but I would be a painful image not to show you the can of Pepsi before your eyes that you must see. Only in a vision did you see what I was saying about it, compared to seeing it, compared to not knowing where this flight became reality, and this reality became flight, and we became automatically involved in the layers of time throughout the thrilling, overarching narrative of the backburning, standout, ravishing things we have to do left in Double Dragon 3. I wasn't trying to illustrate the narrative backwards, as is what seems going on in most of these games. Most of these games are part of my game, and I love this. This is one of the most random ways to get through a game than as such as this. That it doth show the entire road upon the map. I don't know if I can interplay that with anything. Use insert tape B. Okay, like we're going out of style. We're in one of the last parts of this dungeon. I don't know how we got through it so fast. Where are we? Hey, did you guys look at the Contra code and skip ahead to Contra? Hang on, Dungeon Master's coming back. Yes, I think we did not go to Contra on this episode, but we have been on Double Dragon 3 for about the process of 24 minutes. And if you're keeping track, I am too, because we've only got about 8 minutes to go before the whole game's over, so pay attention, Dungeon Masters, because we didn't mess with the time knob at all, but the time knob is there, the nodule of time, and we can't shut up, because if we did, then it would be like the soundtrack would be eaten by some other course of what we're trying to say. And hang on, I've got to stop talking because someone in the production team is needing me. Hang on, Dungeon Master? Oh, he stepped out for a moment to get a cigarette. Hang on, we've got no one at the wheel. We'll have to watch this on an automatic pilot. Excuse me, Dungeon Master. I didn't mean to burp on your set. Okay, I'm leaving. That was good, Pepsi.
That was autopilot, guy? Oh, it is on autopilot. Quiet. Mess with the autopilot. No, don't mess with the autopilot. No, nothing. Quiet. See, I told you they're munching the soundtrack in this ridiculous way. And that was why, hang on, if you want silence while you're fighting, then don't accuse that of being Mozart in the background, which it is, and I don't know how I'm going to get 6 more minutes through this episodic conundrum known as Double Dragon 3. And if it wasn't part 3, would it work like this? Would have been good if it wasn't part 3. Can we go back to the other Double Dragons now that we've betrayed the series so far? And what does this encounter with the old wise man? Ye old wise man who had a son excuse me, everyone. Sorry, I've got to go and burp offset. So it was that everyone had left the scene of Dungeon Master unattended. But all that happened in Double Dragon 3 was the Dungeon Master's avatar character, an airbender no less, kicked the living crap, became a ninja finally, and kicked the living crap out of everyone that tried to fight him, which was everyone in the game so far as tried to fight him. They haven't gotten their asses kicked. And if you don't think that's true and you think this is just some kind of like thrown together agenda of like whatever we want and however we get it, well, that's not really the way this works. See, we're making cartoons out of these by making them as full length as possible, but since this obviously wants to go offline in 5 minutes, we're following it out. We're following it out to the timer. I mean, if we have to see this one go down in a ball of flames, we'll watch it, for gosh sakes, because we've followed it out this far. And the timeline isn't getting any longer, and we're sitting here looking at the timeline going, how could that be 5 minutes? What is that? What is that on the timeline? And he's sitting down here, and he's like kicking the crap out of everyone. And he's like, hi, I told you there was a timeline. I told you there was a timeline. So they're sitting there arguing about it. So, I mean, we could take like a few minutes of silence and go back on autopilot and go see what Dungeon Master's doing. We apologize to all Dungeon Master community for how there was a burp a few times in this level. It was different people that shared a Pepsi. You know, we're trying to sell Pepsi, not turn you off to it. So, really, that was embarrassing and got left on the soundtrack for the sake of the long take of the game is cool and all. But that's not really how we run things here at Dungeon Master, so to all of us at Dungeon Master, we apologize for the burping in the movie, and it kind of ruins the movie, because then it's like reality mixes with fantasy, and it's in an offensive way. And I could see how you'd be offended by someone burping, and we're not trying to offend anyone, or make anyone laugh at something as atrocious as a belch, because that would just make them feel guilty, and it's not the Dungeon Master way to make us feel guilty, but, you know, we do feel guilty when we burp in the background of our show. It sounds like we're puking in the background. We're not puking, and if we were, we'd be drinking, and we don't drink anymore. That's why we even have a show. So come on now. And I smell something really delicious off, and yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like someone sprayed some cologne in my direction or something. I don't know. Dungeon Master, what do you think? Smells good. Sorry we burped everyone. I feel terrible about it. I feel absolutely dreadful about burping on camera. You know how I feel about that. It's almost reason to shred this whole episode and start again. We must destroy it repeatedly for having a real burp in it, because of the ethics of the situation. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can do that. Burp for real, because is anything supposed to be real that you film? And I'm not sure that that's the case, although I am a real dungeon master, you know, this for righteousness' sake. And that I'm fighting one of the final bosses is kind of redundant to say because I've dropped him so many times to his knees that for the bees please, we're going to beat this game. And it really only has a couple of minutes to go. And I really don't know how to say this, but the last few entertaining hours I was spent readying what I'd have to take on as the final makeover defense of this blustering situation, which just seems to grow in maneuvers according to wisdom of the fact that we've got about 3 minutes left, and that's a long time in the running for where we thought we'd be. Can you tell me, Dungeon Master, is there a scene before exposed? Is it being before believing? Is it thing before that? Is it that before thing? Is it off before on? Is it on before off? Is it on before off before on before off? And whatever you come up with, Dungeon Master, we have to believe. Because we believe in you, not just in your prolific nature, your stay power, your offensive subversiveness to politics and psychology, your subliminal messages everywhere, your nostalgia for old video games, and your journeys through dungeons you haven't seen for years, but you've seen them all. Dungeon Master, thank you for all you've given us. And that was written by an anonymous source, but we take all fan mail in and we appreciate it. So that was fan mail from an organization we worked for that would be with that name for only the purposes of keeping it secret, because we keep secrets with our friends, but that many of our friends would admit do have saying nonetheless about how we keep them level-headed with episodes of Dungeon Master. Won't like that the count is on to see how far the actual show can go. And I don't know if this turns out to be the last one, but we can't have a level up here because it's too short of a dungeon. We're almost out of it. Hang on, I'm being silent for a moment. Well, wasn't that a long nap? What just happened? Where are we? Is this the end of the game? Did we arrive on time? Who is he fighting? And why does that not have an expiration? Where are we on the timeline? I can only see this further into the time code. That's it. It's not even over till it's over. And that I hit the button once for your own approval was to show that I wasn't exactly copying everything from the journals of the game, but that we could go back and look at it again. I mean, it's right here in that purple room, and it goes out here to him, and I go back, and so now we're back on him. You know, it's the same. I just barely clicked it right where I clicked it where we already were. How do you like me now? Yes, I could wait for it. That's why I went back to it and saw it again. Or do you want to go back through the credits again? Did you ever know that these guys were my hero? They're everything I've been fighting for. I can fly higher than a eagle, you can fly high as a condor. Game design, Yoshi, and Katagiri, well, aren't they the celebrities of Japan? Hang on, we're gonna see some important names here in a minute. Here they are, yes, Osumi Hirabayashi. We know Himishiba. These are the men behind it all. behind the things that we long for in Dungeon Master 88. Or was it 87, 88? Well, we'll find out someday, won't we? When we get as reckless as we do with our secrets of eternal desire.